Well, good morning. As you can see, I've got in front of me some packages of seed. So I was trying to determine what seeds I've got right now that I can plant. Since it is the fall of the year, well, it's August. It's mid-August, so. But anyway, I thought I'd share with you some of the seeds that I found in my seed bag that I keep all my seeds in that I might be able to plant now. And I've come up with the purple tree collards. Now, I ordered a cutting of the purple tree collard last year, and I did plant it, and it seemed to be doing okay. But then it got real hot, and all of a sudden it just died. So I said I might try that again this year and see what happens. Maybe plant it later in the summer, or maybe even now. And maybe by the time it starts growing and get some decent size, the weather will be cooled off enough that it won't bother it. And then by next summer, it'll be okay. And then I've got a Chinese cabbage. I love this Chinese cabbage. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. I mean, I planted it last year. I planted it again in the spring of the year this year. And it does real well. I mean, that's one thing that does well here. It doesn't like the extreme heat, and it will die back a little bit. But if you keep it watered, it'll come right back up. So that's one thing that you can plant here in north central Texas in this dry heat climate that will grow well. And I had to put mine in a little baggie because my envelope broke and all my seed fell out, so I had to put it in a baggie to keep my seed from getting lost. And another thing is bok choy. Bok choy does not like the extreme heat, but you could plant it now, I think, and by the time it comes up and gets any size, the weather may be cooled off enough to where the heat wouldn't bother it. Lettuce. I've got a real leafy lettuce that does real well here. It does not like the extreme heat, but I think if I planted it now for the fall, it'll do well. Because I planted some of that the first of the summer, in the spring of the year, back in March. And it came up, it looked real well, but then that extreme heat hit and it died back down. Some of the plants have survived and, they're doing okay. But they don't like the extreme heat. And this summer, if anything lived at all, you're doing real well. And then I've got this red Russian kale. That does well here. But again, like everything else, it does not like the extreme heat. Not 105 and 109 degree weather, it doesn't. I had one or two plants that survived from the spring through the heat. And now it's coming back to life since the temperatures have dropped down to at least 99 and 100. And I've come up with radishes. Radish is something that you can grow right now. Because, radish, I planted those the beginning of the summer, back in the spring. And that heat hit and they didn't do well at all. But I think if I planted them now, they would do okay. Swiss chard is another one. If you like Swiss chard, that you can plant now and it'll do well. I've got spinach. Spinach will do well if you like spinach. Beets like the colder weather. So I'm going to try planting some more of these again for my fall garden. And I've got it's a Chinese dragon stir-fry mix salad blend. Now, I planted some of that back in the spring, And it would come up, it was growing beautiful. I was getting harvest off of it. And then that heat hit, and like everything else, it tried to die down. Some of it did survive, and it started growing back again now, since the weather has cooled off a little bit. So they'll be okay. But one thing I did plant that I was really counting on is this giant kale. I thought maybe, you know, if I could plant giant kale, it would do well. And it did the beginning of the summer. It was growing like crazy. I was harvesting leaves off of it and cooking it, and it did real well. But like everything else, when that heat hit, it died back. And I think maybe winter squash you might be able to plant right now. It says August or April through August, and then I think our climate you can plant in August through probably October. So I'm going to give the winter squash a try. I won't plant much of it, but I'll plant a few seeds and see what happens, and then I'll know what to do with it next year. And I've got this Mexican mint seed that I ordered, but they didn't send you any instruction with it. So I might throw a couple of seeds of that out and just see what happens with it. But anyway, I mean, there's quite a bit of vegetables you can grow right now that you can plant in August that'll do well for your fall garden. Because I don't think we're going to hit 105 or 109 anymore the rest of the summer. I mean, I think about 100 is our top heat index right now. So if you're interested in planting a fall garden, check out your seeds. Check the planting dates and how long it takes to germinate and, you know, fully mature. And then you can decide if you want to plant it or not. But, anyway, I just thought I'd get, I always say, but anyway. And I said, I probably need to use that as a logo. And probably need to make me some t-shirts or something and put anyway on it. And just use that as a slogan for my garden channel, is just anyway, or but anyway. And again, but anyway, if you're interested in planting a fall garden, check out your seeds. If you don't have seeds from last year, go check out your seed store and see what you can plant right now. Because, if you love gardening like I do, you'll pick any time of the year that you can put something in the ground or a pot or a tote and get it growing. I mean, I get a lot of satisfaction out of it. I'm retired right now. I'm not working. And this keeps me going because it gives me a reason to get up in the morning and get outside and do something rather than just sit on the couch all day. My doctor said, well, you need to sweat because my body holds a lot of water weight. And I guess that's why my eyes get so baggy looking. So I need to get out there and sweat it off. And I'd rather get out there and work in my garden in the heat and sweat, come in and cool off when I need to, rather than go pay money to sit in a sauna in some health club, because that would drive me crazy. I tried it years ago, and I got so bored with just sitting there, I couldn't stand it. I said, I just got to get out of here and do something. But anyway, check out your seeds. And if you like my videos, if you're learning anything from my videos, I mean, I am. All of this is a learning experience for me, because I had to learn how to plant stuff all over again living in Texas versus where I'm from in North Carolina. And so I learn something every day. I learn what I can plant, what does well and what doesn't. And, in the different areas, even in Texas, you have different things that'll do well. Like I'm up on this hill, it's rocky, it's sandy, and the ground does not hold moisture at all. So it's best to plant in totes or pots. Now there's one time a year or in the early spring things will grow in the ground, but then when it gets so hot you can't keep it watered enough, it just burns up. So I found that the totes and the big pots are a good alternative for me. So, you know, there's people that live below me in low-lying areas that stay pretty moist, and they don't have to water their gardens all the time. But I bet this summer they did because it's been too hot. But anyway, if you get anything out of my videos, if you like my videos, please like my videos, share my videos, and subscribe to my channel, because that's the only way that I'm going to know that you get anything out of what I post, and it'll keep me going. Anyway, I hope I help some people with what they might want to plant for their fall garden. Just get out there and experiment. Have fun with it. And you have a blessed day.